You probably think of yourself as a pretty rational person. You're calm, you're logical, that is, until someone cuts you off in traffic. And then suddenly, something else just takes over. Today, we're going to dissect why driving feels like this intense psychological test that we all have to face every single day.
Okay, let's just jump right in. I know this sounds a little dramatic, but seriously, think about it for a second. We're piloting these 2-ton metal boxes at incredible speeds, completely surrounded by strangers whose intentions are a total mystery. This isn't just about following traffic laws. This is a deep dive into the human mind when it's put under some pretty extreme pressure.
And this really is the heart of it, isn't it? That sudden hot flush of anger when someone merges without even thinking about a signal. It doesn't register as just a minor inconvenience, does it? No, it feels like a profound disrespect, almost like a personal attack. And if you feel that way, you are not alone. In fact, the numbers on this are, well, they're kind of staggering.
Just look at that number. 96%. That's basically everybody. So this isn't a problem for just a few angry people out there. This is a fundamental feature of what it means to drive today. So, what is it that turns us from perfectly calm citizens into these, territorial predators on the asphalt? Well, the first part of the answer isn't in our heads. It's in the steel cage we're all sitting in.
So, let's get into our first section, your car, your fortress. That vehicle you're in, it's more than just a machine. It's actually a psychological bubble, and it fundamentally changes how you interact with the entire world.
The key concept we need to understand here is something called de-individuation. It's a fancy term for what happens when your sense of individual identity kind of gets lost in the sauce. Think about how people sometimes act differently in a giant crowd at a concert, or even behind an anonymous username online. Well, that exact same principle applies on the road. You become less you and more that blue car, and that has huge consequences for your behavior.
And this is exactly how it happens inside your car. It's called the anonymity effect. Out on the sidewalk, if you accidentally bump into someone, there's that immediate exchange of eye contact, a quick, oops, sorry, all those little social lubricants. But in a car, all of that is gone. Poof! No faces, no nonverbal apologies. Aggression becomes shockingly easy when you can't see the person in the other car.
This quote right here just perfectly captures the last piece of this puzzle. See, your brain doesn't stop at your skin. It actually expands your sense of self to include the car's bumpers. It's wild. So when another car violates that space, your brain doesn't register it as a simple traffic mistake. No, it perceives it as a physical threat, and it triggers this primal defensive response.
So we've established that the car creates the perfect environment for anger to brew. But what is actually happening inside our skulls when that anger spikes? Well, this is where we get into the biology of what we call the brain hijack.
And this is it, the amygdala hijack. Your amygdala is your brain's ancient primitive alarm system. It is designed to do one thing, detect threats and trigger a fight-or-flight response, like instantly. Your heart starts pounding, adrenaline floods your system, and your focus narrows to just that one threat. It is fast, it is powerful, and trust me, it does not care about traffic laws. It's built for survival, period.
The easiest way to think about this is that your brain has two competing drivers. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex. That's your rational, logical CEO. On the other side, you've got the amygdala, your super jumpy security guard. Now, under normal conditions, the CEO is in charge. But the second that security guard screams, "Threat!" it slams the big red emergency button, and the CEO gets temporarily kicked right out of the driver's seat.
And this is the crucial takeaway. During that hijack, your brain's priorities shift, and they shift dramatically. The goal is no longer get to my destination safely. The goal becomes neutralizing the threat, winning the encounter, and reestablishing dominance. It's a really dangerous and ancient script playing out at 70 miles per hour. Okay, so we get the problem. Our cars make us anonymous, and our brains are basically wired to overreact. I know, that sounds pretty bleak, but it's not. Because once you understand the mechanism, you can install your own countermeasures. So let's get into your tactical survival kit. This first tool is a simple but powerful interrupt. The moment you feel that spike of rage, your only job for 5 seconds is to do nothing. Just drive predictably. Don't honk, don't speed up, don't make a gesture. Just hold your lane and breathe. This 5-second gap is often all it takes for that initial hormonal surge to pass and for your rational brain, the CEO, to get back in control.
Our second tool goes directly after your physiology.
Box breathing is a technique used by Navy SEALs and first responders to calm the nervous system under extreme stress. Just inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It works by activating your body's natural brake pedal, sending a powerful signal to your brain that the threat is gone and it's safe to stand down.
All right, the final tool is a mental one. Your anger is fueled by the story you tell yourself. The default story is always, "That idiot did that to me." This tool is about consciously choosing a different story. Not because it excuses their bad driving, but because it saves you. Maybe they're lost. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. You don't know. And honestly, the truth doesn't matter. Choosing a more generous story is an act of strategic self-preservation. So these tools are fantastic for in-the-moment recovery. But the real goal, the true sign of a master driver, is to shift from being reactive to being proactive. It's all about mastering the psychological battlefield before you even turn the key and adopting a professional mindset every single time you get behind the wheel. You know, the people who are the absolute best in the world at high-speed driving, they aren't the angriest, not by a long shot. They're the most controlled. They win by being incredibly precise, calm, and strategic. For them, anger is just a dangerous distraction that ruins their performance. True mastery is all about emotional control. So here it is, your new 60-second ritual to use before every single drive. First, decide who you are going to be today. I am a calm, predictable driver. Second, build in a mental buffer for delays so you don't feel rushed. Third, take one single conscious breath. And fourth, set a non-negotiable rule for yourself. No retaliation, ever. This simple ritual completely reframes your approach to the drive before it even starts. It makes all the difference.
Because in the end, anybody can get angry. Anyone can lean on the horn. That's the easy part. Real strength, the ultimate form of dominance on the road, isn't about showing aggression. It's about maintaining absolute self-control when the world around you and your own biology are trying to hijack you. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's your biggest trigger, and what news story are you going to choose next time it happens?